Aryeh, good to see you again today.
Happy to see you and to hear you.
Okay, and we say the put on the seatbelt again.
Yes.
So this time we're going
Out of space.
the question whether I look at outer space or inner space, because in whatever we learn over here, it is not just as it is in the worlds above, but here we're explaining it how it is in our world. That's the amazing thing of Chabad Hasidus, that it gives you the opportunity to be able to learn the concepts as they are explained in Kabbalah, and it explains you how that you have to apply it in your own life.
Yeah, that's the point,
right?
Because most of these things are abstract; they don't go really to the practical aspect of it. So that's why we're studying it.
So that's one of the great advantages of learning this Chabad Hasidus. Okay, right now we're going to start chapter number 384, and basically we're going to now go in to explain in depth the difference between davening and learning. Okay, it's going to take a few chapters, but we're going to go to be able to understand it. So you have to go into what was said by the person was called the Magid of Mezrich. He was one of the founders of the revelation of the Hasidus. Right? Does know that the Chabad Hasidus comes from the Admor Zaken, who was a student of the Magid of Mezrich, which we received from the Baal Shem Tov Kodesh. And he's had sometimes very things were very short, but they had to be explained in depth. And actually, we're going to take a few lines of what he said, and it'll take about at least 7 chapters to open it up. And it takes time, and takes also going into new concepts, and we'll try to go step by step. Okay, so I like to go into the concept of davening, especially we're going to start is with what the Magid of Mezrich said in one of his books called Orator. And in this book, it says over here that when Moshe Rabbeinu was told that he has to make chatzot, they were trumpets. So we learn it in a deeper way. And the word chatzot in Hebrew, you can break it into chatzi tzura, half an image. Okay. In other words, we know in everything in the physical world that there is the physical part and there is a spiritual part. So it's what's so to speak, the spiritual part is called the tzura, and the physical part is the way that it looks, and they run together, sort of run together. It says that the Moshe Rabbeinu was told that he has to make chatzi tzuros. Okay, so this is what he explains that we have to go and understand what is this? What is this concept of the fact that you have to split the two halves? What are these two halves? And we're going to understand this as it is in the world, and we understand it as it is also in ourselves. Okay, so it said like this. Rabbi Rishab explained like this: that if we're talking about something which is a half, so we're not talking about a level when everything is complete. Because we're going to see that also in the soul, that the soul has different levels. There's a level as we reveal powers in our body. There are levels as the powers are in potential to be revealed. And there's a level where there's only one soul. Everything is there. And everything is unified. So if we're talking about a concept, we have to have two things or two halves. You're not talking about the essence. You're talking about a kind of revelation. In such a revelation that there's something which is missing with something which could be to make it complete. Okay. So it brings to understand this as there's a pasuk in Shir Shirim that it explains the connection between the Jewish people and the Kurdish world. And one of the it says it's called Yonasi Tamasi. The word Tamasi means the two really means. It really means either we're twins with the Creator, or we are completing. So the way the two concepts go together. As also in the person, a person has his power of speech, and behind the power of speech is his thinking, his emotions. Okay, so in the creations of the world, there's also there's two kinds of concepts thrown together. We call this in Hebrew, it's called za l'machos, or we call it zer anti, small face, for small faces, and the malchus means the kingship. Okay, we're going to see that these are like two halves. The two halves that they go together on a higher level. Before we know that it says about the moon, the sun, that when the moon and the sun were created, so the moon said to the sun, "How can we both be together with one crown?" And so the Hashem says, "Well, you have to put yourself down to the moon," and the Hashem gave the stars to be together with the moon. And this is really, in a spiritual way, this is the process of coming to a higher level. You must go to a lower level to be able to come to a higher level, which we know is that the purpose of going down is to come up. The purpose of why the neshama comes into the world, right? To reach a higher level than it was before when it was in Gan Eden. And right, we know that when the neshama in Gan Eden is on the level of a tzaddik. So the question is, what's missing? So the answer is that the coming into this world and the desire to reunite with the Creator is like the concept of being a Baal Tshuva. What's a Baal Tshuva? A person who they realize that he's in the wrong place and he wants to get out, and therefore he has more desire to be better. So too that the all the worlds are in this kind of a fashion that the Creator has made, that the Malchus, the name of Hashem, this level which is able to reveal, it became, so to speak, in a way that it wasn't in its original source. In the original source, before what's called the Tzimtzum. Now, before we get into the concept of Tzimtzum, I have to know that there are two kinds of Tzimtzum. Whenever we say this word Tzimtzum, which means high trans Tzimtzum, it's like a reduction or a filtering, but there's two kinds. There is one kind of Tzimtzum, which means that the infinite light of the Creator was retracted, and there's another kind of Tzimtzum, which means that it was contracted. Okay. In other words, before Hashem created the worlds, there was a desire to create the worlds, and there was infinite light, which was light, which eventually will have some connection with the worlds. And then there was what's called the first Tzimtzum. It means the light was retracted to its source, where it came from, and the light, which was finite light, was able to be revealed. This light is the light which afterwards it says that there was a concept called the kav. Kav means like a thread or a line.
Ray?
Or not so ray, it's like a line.
Okay.
You know, it's a straight line. So that's the concept that the finite light became into a possibility that it should be able to be revealed and in different levels. We're not going to go into all the details how it is, but so therefore we have from before the Tzimtzum, we have the infinite light, which is going to be revealed, and then we have a potential that there should be 10 different areas, which we're going to call them spheres. The spheres are difficult to translate in English, but it means there are different areas which have different revelations. Okay, and these 10 spheres before the Tzimtzum, they don't have a separate entity. When do they become a separate entity? As they become into the limitations of the Kav, and where we'll see there's more revelation, we're going to call out that's a higher rule. When there's a lower level of revelation, that's a lower rule. Because before the concept of the Kav, there's only the infinite light of Hashem. So it's not possible even to have finite, because finite is included in infinite. So therefore, we have to have a possibility that should be finite. And the only way to have possible finite is to retract the infinite. Okay. So this concept of the fact that there's going to be spheres, there's going to be revelation is coming from generally the concept of malchus. That when there's it says before the world was created, what was the situation? It was Hashem with his name. So the question, what's his Hashem? What does he need the name for? So the difference between the person and his name is that the name is not the person, even though the name is connected with the person, but the name is not the person. Right? And that's what's called He'ara. It's a revelation that's called like a shadow, but it's an emanation. Now, in the emanation, the concept of emanation, we can have an example of the sun. That the sun gives out light, and when you see the sunlight, you know it comes from the sun, right? If you have a light bulb, so the light which comes out from the light bulb is revealing that there's a light bulb. So if whenever you have light, it is, and even though it's not connected with the source, but it reveals the source. Okay, same thing over here. That the sun reveals light, but it doesn't make a difference to the sun whether or not the light shines down, or if there's a cloudy day, or if it shines. It doesn't. There's no connection. In other words, it remains removed from the fact that it's giving out light. So that's when the worlds are being created is through light, means that there's no change on the essence of the creator. There's no change in the difference of the creator. And when a person is a teacher, so his teaching, even though it's not revealing all his powers, not revealing who he is, since a person could teach different levels, and he could give over, it doesn't mean that it reveals how many great levels he has. But a teacher is interested that people should understand what he's teaching. So therefore, it makes a difference to it, and it's connected with it. And if he doesn't succeed, it has an effect on his feelings. So there was the worlds are created through light. The light reveals the creator, but the creator remains separate, not influenced by all the worlds. And that's what we say, that Hashem never changes, never changes. Even though all the worlds are here, he remains exactly the same. And in the world itself, the light, which we call the Sovev, which is light which is revealed here, it has no vessel to be revealed, but it's here. And that's what we say, Hashem's Ani, Hashem, I didn't change. I am Hashem, I didn't change. It's that in the world there's a revelation of this life that's coming from Hashem, which is who is infinite, and it's infinite light, and it's here. And it's not revealed. The truth is, by our doing Torah mitzvahs, and we have an opportunity to bring this light, that should have a vessel that should be eventually revealed. Okay, so now we can understand a little bit of what does this mean that the two halves. The two halves is that there is the level of the characteristics of the world of the Tzil is what we call Zer Anpin, which there are 9 of them. And the Malchus, the kingship, is the 10th. And they bring this as a pasuk in Shmuel, that it says over there that it says that there was a story that a certain person who rebelled against David and Melech. So Yoav came to fight against the city, and there's a lady who came out, and she said that the city is on the side of David and Melech, and she used the word Mishalem, Mishalem, word Mishalem with David. So on that passage, what she spoke about this. The lady was Sarah ben Asher. The name of Sarah ben Asher, she came out of together in Egypt. And the Medrash says that she was the one, she completed the 10th level. And this is the concept of the Malchus. The Malchus completes the other 9. And if you go into it, he explains the explanation of that when we do mitzvahs, that we have 248 mitzvahs, the mitzvahs, and we have also 48 limbs in our body. And he explains here also where there is the 9 spheres of the Tzilas where we have a counterpart. So it goes in a calculation that where these spheres, each one has 9 entities, the parts of it, and there's 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, and then every concept has what's called a top, a middle, and a bottom. So they multiply that by 3, it comes out 243. And then there's the 5 powers of making things grow. And that's called Heg Vuros, Heg Chesadim. So together it comes out 248. And these 248 are completed through the Malchus. In other words, later in the Mimer, we're going to go on to explain it more. But these spheres can, so to speak, they're revelations, but they can't be revealed in a lower level. The Malchus in every sphere is what gives the power to be able to bring and reveal something to come out. An example that a person could have many good ideas and many great feelings, but nobody knows about it. Only the power of speech is what brings it out into revelation. That's what's called Malchus. That's what it says Malchus Peh. The person's speech is what reveals. As we know that the power of speaking reveals what is hidden. As that's one of the reasons why it says, it's explained that when if somebody speaks something bad about somebody else, so then it is very dangerous. It's a branch for the person who spoke, but dangerous for the person who listened, and as dangerous about the person who's spoken about. So the question is, well, okay, the one who spoke and one that listened, they did something wrong. But what did the person have to suffer that they talked about it? So one of the sikhs in the Rebbe Narcha Mashiach explains that the reason is that speech has a power to reveal what is hidden. Right? I don't know what a person's thinking. When he talks, I can tell you what kind of person he is. It says in the Pesach Haggadah, Chacham Mahomer. The person, according to the way he speaks, that's how you know who he is. So when a person speaks, he reveals something. And when a person speaks good about somebody else, so he reveals good. But he speaks bad about somebody. So then all the bad also becomes good. So it has an effect on it. So here's the same thing over here that the power the power of Malchus is the power to be able to reveal at every level what was in that level and it couldn't be revealed. And that's why in every one of the 9 spheres, each one has its own Malchus. And from that, these Malchuses are afterwards, they make the completion of the Malchus, and then as it's a separate sphere, they're all built from the previous. And so therefore, over here we have the beginning of to get into to explain and understand what are these two halves. And just like we know that I a man and a woman before they got married, before they got married, they were two halves, they were one neshama. And when they get married, before they get married, they're half. And when they get married, they become complete. So to speak. The same thing is the relationship between Hashem and the Jewish people. That we're the halves to complete the desire of the Creator to make a dwelling place in the lower worlds. And so that is we are twins in source, and through our fact that we do the work here in this world, so then because that the Creator can be revealed in the lower worlds, because that's His desire. That was the reason why we were sent here, and that's how we complete we become a completion that the two halves should become one. Okay, that's it. Anyways, we should, as they say, have a good, have an enjoyable time watching how the Creator reveals Himself. And everybody should be together in the base of English. Amen. Thank you.